All right, everybody. I'm here in Salt Lake City on my way back home to see my kids and my family, and I'm so pumped. But I wanted to answer one question. I'm getting a lot of messages, text messages, um, email, people calling and asking about the church service today. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to jump on live and answer a couple questions that people have about what happened, why it happened. You guys have seen the videos that have gone viral. A lot of my posts have gone out there. This specific church is an Episcopalian, I believe it's Episcopalian church that has been in Washington, D.C. for a very, very long time. And the tradition of having a church service right um, the morning after the inauguration dates all the way back to FDR. And I think it was like in the 30s when the whole thing started. So it dates back to FDR, and it's something that presidents have done throughout history. And it's just kind of part of the whole inaugural situation. You know, the church service is what finishes out the situation, and it's meant to be a unifying thing. It's meant to be a pointing back to the faith of Americans and how we all need faith in God for the future and the new administration, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, whoever. The church has always kind of been the thing that held the entire process together. However, this is the first time where the leader of that church is a woke LGBTQ woman activist. This is the first time that there has been a priest or priestess over that church ever in history. And she just so happens to be a complete, absolute left wing uh, fanatic, and she has now it's been leaked all of these anti-Trump videos and her history of marching with the George Floyd stuff and the BLM stuff and the gay rights stuff, and now she just happens to be the pastor, and so she took a chance that was meant to be one of unity and hope today, where Americans could come together. In fact, her whole message was about unity. That's how she started, was talking about unity and talking about, how we need to come together and be unified and how we need to drop our partisan ways, and we need to drop the politics and come as one. And then she uses the last bit of her speech to shove her politics down our throats and take a shot at the president of the United States. I mean, it was just the most disgraceful, embarrassing thing that I've ever been a part of. I mean, being in the room, and I was like, um, I was just, a few rows behind President Trump and his whole family on the opposite side. You can see me in a lot of the videos, and I was right next to my really good friend Jensen Franklin, and the whole room was horrified. Like we were all just like, "What is even happening right now?" And so a lot of people are saying, "Well, did they know she was going to do that? Was it a White House sanctioned thing? How did they not vet her? All this kind of things." Well, this has never been like an issue before. And I don't think anybody thought it would be an issue. Definitely no one in the White House and no one in the Trump team would think that, the pastor of the church would be one that would use her position to shove back disgraceful, demonic uh, insults at the newly elected president. I mean, it was just kind of a damper. But here's a good thing about it. I'm always an optimist guy. I'm a hope guy. You guys know that. So I can take any situation and turn it around. The good thing about it is it absolutely exposed the the wokeness and the demon behind wokeness, and it exposed for the world to see how crazy these people are, uh, how demonic they are, how inspired by the pit of hell they are and what they believe and what they say. I mean, that was put on full display. So God's actually going to use the situation. Here's the other cool thing. There were so many leaders in that room, and I can't wait to tell you guys the God connections. Mind boggling. I mean, I got invited to do worship at the Pentagon with my friend Pete Hegseth. I got invited by Speaker Mike Johnson to go into the Capitol and worship. I mean, it's crazy, guys. It's wide open right now. Like that's the biggest thing I want to express to you, and I hope that you share this. It's like our government has people in it now. I've never seen this and never heard of this before, where worship is being invited in, and the Trump team actually has a faith department where every cabinet member has almost like an intercessor, like a government sanctioned intercessor that's responsible to pray and integrate faith and prayer and decision making into every facet of the government. I mean, it's absolutely unprecedented. And so I wanted to share this with you guys because I know you were all horrified. I was horrified. I just happened to be in the room. And but God's going to use this. And, if you think something like that is going to phase the president of the United States, he's been through a lot crazier stuff. It was just so funny. I could see him kind of from the side, and you could tell him and Melania and JD, like they were not having it. And so this lady just made a total fool of herself and really exposed how the woke church is dying. I mean, that beautiful cathedral. Yeah, that's what's so sad. It's such a beautiful cathedral. It should be filled with thousands and thousands of people. It's iconic. It's historic. Presidents have gone there. But you know what? It's empty. It's not a message that is landing with the next generation. And so, anyway, I'm headed home, but I can't wait to share with you guys the updates. I'm going to try to go live this week and tell you, you got to jump on. If I go live, just jump on because you're going to hear some amazing testimonies, like really, really cool stuff of what we experience. Really fun, exciting news about what's coming up in faith in the administration. And so I think I look at it as the devil was trying one last time to put a damper on all that God's doing. And you know what? He just can't. We huddled together. My friend Lorenzo, the guy that gave the kind of the benediction prayer at the end of the inauguration, the fiery guy. We banded together, a bunch of us, and just prayed, and we broke that spirit off. We broke the witchcraft off. We broke the curses off. We broke the heaviness off, and then we went outside and worshiped some more. So uh, God is sending the worshipers in, even in a situation like this. And of course, I would not have wanted that. I would not wanted that situation for the president. However, it was amazing to see how many people were standing up for him in that room and how many people were by him. And so, no, the government wasn't behind this. The White House wasn't behind this. Nobody knew it was going to happen. And it's part of tradition. They go to this church every year or every inauguration. And, so they were just following through with the protocol, but I think it's time that we change the tradition. I think after today, I think we need to, I don't know how many of you guys agree with me. If you agree with me, let me see you below. Like, I think it's time to change the tradition. I think we need to have fire worship. We need to have, wild and faith-filled intercession, and we need to anoint this incoming administration. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to be seeing a lot of worship at the White House. I'll just tell you that. A lot of worship across DC. And I'm so grateful, that God told us to have a ministry center, a house of prayer on Capitol Hill. It was kind of one of the wildest decisions I ever made. I really felt the Lord call me to do that. And I believe God has been using ministries like ours, and there's a lot of others that have just been preparing the way in the spirit and sowing in worship. We're reaping in joy what we sowed in tears, and we got more work to do and we're not going to stop. And so if you guys want to partner with us, join with us, pray with us, worship with us, Tampa Law is the name of our ministry. We're there. I just talked to diplomats and cabinet members that are going to be coming through this year, Congress members, senators. God's moving, man. God is moving in the nation's capital, and I'm leaving with a great report. And ain't no crazy demonic witch lady that's some diocese of Episcopalian LGBTQ mafia. She ain't gonna ruin nothing for me because God moved this weekend and He's moving in our nation. We should all be so excited. All right, love you guys. Going to board my plane.